If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, ThatMovieGuy365. Alright, in today's video, I'm going to go over everything I picked up from the Criterion Collection and 4K Ultra HD for November 2021. If you watched yesterday's video, I went over everything I picked up on the Blu-ray, and I thought there were way too many titles in my collection this month, so I decided to separate them. Check out that video if you're interested in my Blu-ray pickups. Wow, tons of sales this month, crazy amounts, everything from Target's buy two, get one free, to Amazon price matching, Best Buy doing Black Friday pretty much all month long. There was a lot of great sales, and of course, the usual suspects of new releases to top on that. Yeah, there was a lot going on. And for us collectors, we love these type of months. It's great. It lets us just add stuff to our collection. So let's not waste any time. Let's go over everything I picked up on 4K Ultra HD and the Criterion Collection for November 2021. This was a great month for Criterion. Not only was the sale great, but there was also the first 4K releases from the Criterion Collection, and I think they did a great job on all four. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about these, and I actually have three that I ordered I was just looking at the tracking information. I ordered from Barnes & Noble's website about 10 days ago. It still isn't here, but it's making movement, so it's getting here, but it'll probably be included in December's video. So the first one I picked up it stars Veronica Lake, and that is I Married a Witch. I like this one a lot. It's funny, it's got a good witch story, it's got good acting, and I think it's like a primer for I Dream of Jeannie. Think of it that way. You could see the DNA all over that. So yeah, I Married a Witch from the Criterion Collection on Blu-ray. Check that one out. This one is a blind buy. I haven't seen it yet, but once again, friends I trust recommended it, and it's been on my wish list for a little while. It's a fairly recent release. That is Humphrey Bogart in High Sierra. I'm going to check this one out very shortly, so I will let you know my thoughts on Letterboxd. This one is getting a remake from Guillermo del Toro, and I really wanted to own the Blu-ray edition from the Criterion Collection, and that is Nightmare Alley. I really don't want to spoil this one for you, but I would highly recommend you watch this one before you see Nightmare Alley from Guillermo del Toro. Of course, they're going to be very different, but you really want to appreciate where the director got the inspiration from. Yes, Nightmare Alley from the Criterion Collection. Definitely watch this one when you can. This was an impulse buy. It's like it wasn't even on my wish list, but I think I saw like somebody talking about it in some other forum, and I was at Barnes & Noble. I got this the same day I got the Waterworld Arrow edition. The story of Temple Drake. It's a noir, Prohibition era, film. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I haven't seen it yet. This one looked very cool, so I will let you know my thoughts on Letterboxd, and apparently it's held in really high regard. So the story of Temple Drake, I will be checking this one out soon. This was also a box set released brand new for November from the Criterion Collection, and I'm a fan of Jet Li, and I've seen the first two movies. I actually haven't seen the last three, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Once Upon a Time in China. So I've heard the first, the back half of the films are as good, and Jet Li only, comes back for the last movie, but he's in the first two. He's in the first two, and then of course I think in the last one he's in it again. But Once Upon a Time in China, I will check it out for the last several movies I haven't seen, but the first two are actually excellent, so check those out. It is available from the Criterion Collection on Blu-ray. This one, during the last 50% off sale, I was going through a crazy Wes Anderson, buying spree on the Criterion stuff, and this one, I remember watching it, and then later on I grew to appreciate it. Like the Darjeeling Limited, I really enjoyed that one going back to it, and Life Aquatic. I'm looking forward to revisiting this one as well with fresher eyes, because watching The French Dispatch, the recent film from Wes Anderson, I really wanted to get some of his other stuff that I hadn't had on physical format. But Life Aquatic, looking forward to checking this one out again. This one, I believe, was the first movie from director Terrence Malick, and that is Badlands. Martin Sheen, Sissy Spacek, crime duo, I believe from the 1950s. excellent movie. You could definitely see early, you know, Malick has a certain style. And of course, you know, the film he did after this one, Days of Heaven, it kind of like pushes him more into that direction. But this one starts it all. And Badlands, I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. And if you're a fan of the director, check it out. In the 4K editions of the Criterion Collection titles this month, I did a review for all of these, so check the channel out if you want to hear my thoughts. Addams Family and Uncut Gems. I know Sandler gets a lot of hate, you know, and I think some of his direct-to-Netflix movies are, you know, kind of cannon fodder at this point. But, you know, when he wants to, he can definitely act. And Uncut Gems is incredible. It's tense, it's got great characters, and it looks excellent on 4K. So, yeah, Uncut Gems on 4K from the Criterion Collection is now available. And one of the big releases, of course, is Citizen Kane. What can I say? This movie set, you know, it set the blueprint for so many movies that came after. I know the whole, you know, greatest movie ever made thing gets thrown around. It's very subjective. I don't feel it's the greatest movie ever made, but you can't deny that this film really just laid the groundwork. And I think it really just has something that should be appreciated. And it looks good. I think the 4K looks excellent here. And I did a review for the channel if you want to check out my thoughts on that. This is one I saw previously on DVD. I haven't never owned the Blu Ray, but I thought I would give the 4K a view, and I was very blown away on how good it looked. And the audio was also very well done. And that is Menace to Society. It's hard hitting. It's still, you know, it's almost timeless with what happens in the film. You know, it's just one of those the situations in life are just kind of just, you know, even today, even this movie shot in the early 90s. It's still relevant. So yeah, Menace to Society, hard hitting, but check it out on 4K. And finally from the Criterion Collection, one of my favorite David Lynch films, and I think my actual favorite David Lynch film, Mulholland Drive. Beautiful. It blows the Blu Ray out of the water, you know, to the point where you can just toss out that old Blu Ray. This movie looks fantastic on 4K Ultra HD. The soundtrack is pretty much the same from the previous Blu Ray, but it's still incredible. The movie, I could watch this one countless. I always find something new when I do rewatch, and I think the 4K edition of this one is just top notch. So yeah, Mulholland Drive is now available on 4K from the Criterion Collection. And finally, jumping into 4K Ultra HD, there were a ton of pickups. Once again, new releases, some sale items, lots to go over. Let's not waste any time with that. Francis Ford Coppola's The Outsiders looks fantastic on 4K, and you know, it's funny because I was revisiting this one for the first time in many years, and it really holds up. It's one of, I would feel like a good coming of age from the director. It's definitely, you know, kind of like a different tone as opposed to, you know, Apocalypse Now and that sort of thing. But The Outsiders, yeah, I would recommend this one. It's got great picture upgrade. The audio has a little bit of issues, but I still think it has a very good 4K disc, and I would recommend this one highly. So if you're a fan of the channel, you know I am not a big fan of box sets. Like, I would prefer, especially when a series is still ongoing, as this one is I'm about to go over. But sometimes, you know, they release the box set before that, and I want to review it for the channel and give you guys the heads up on quality. So I do invest in the box sets, but when they have individual titles down the line, I like to kind of just, you know, edge out that box set and just put in the individual movies. So I did that with the Expendables films. These were part of Best Buy's $7.99 sale for November. Of course, I just wanted to pick up the editions. I was kind of hoping that steelbooks would be released down the line. I was sort of like, I was waiting for, you know, not only just like a good sale or something, but I was hoping a steelbook edition would be announced. So I kept waiting and waiting, but you know what? I felt like, screw it. I just got them. So Expendables, and then Expendables 2 and Expendables 3. And we all know that an Expendables 4 is on the way. So it was just, you know, for me, having like the collection in like one set and then having the fourth on the end, that just would kind of drive me a little nuts. But So, you know, getting rid of the quote-unquote box set at some point, and just have the individual titles. So, and they're cool films. You know, Expendables, I think, are great, you know, action callback to the 80s, early 90s, and some good, you know, good actors that are, you know, just kicking ass. So, yeah, the Expendables movies. This one was also part of the $7.99 sale. It was kind of an impulse. And I'm kind of hoping they release the rest of the films on 4K, because they did release the original Saw, you know, earlier this year, and a Spiral also was released on 4K. So I picked up Jigsaw. This one was okay. It's not like the best entry in the franchise, but it kind of does a little something different. And, you know, Tobin Bell as Jigsaw was, you know, or John Kramer, great, you know, so, yeah, you know, I'll be revisiting this one again, and hopefully the rest of them will show up on 4K. Oh boy, this one, okay, if you are somebody who's into 4K, you know the big drama about this release. So, I'm talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, they announced a Steelbook edition with a slipcover edition also. And the Steelbook went up for pre-order briefly, but only for, you know, mail, you know, just getting it shipped to you. And I don't even think they ever did an in-store pickup for it. I mean, but they might have, but it was a very brief window. So when the release date came, no Steelbook could be found. And, you know, supply chain issues, that sort of thing was being, you know, thrown around. And eventually it disappeared off the website. So not only is the Justice League Steelbook off the website, but it was just a whole thing where it even started showing up like months later in stores randomly. So it was like, you couldn't find it on the website. You had to go in store, ask for it, give them the SKU. And, you know, you may or may not have gotten it. I did get the slipcover, and I did a review for the channel on that, but I really wanted the Steelbook. I love the Steelbook of this one. So, long story short, I'm just out maybe about, like, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and I just happened to be randomly at a Best Buy and just on random Wednesday, and I walked in the store, they had one on the shelf. Oh my goodness, I was very excited. I know, you know, it's a weird thing to just kind of get excited about, and it was on sale too. $20, $20 for the Steelbook. It was like, there was like 3 days it went on sale. It was a whole thing. So it was like $3 off, or I mean, it was like $35, and then it was $20. I used a gift certificate. I think I paid $11 out the door. I love it. I'm glad I have a 4K Steelbook edition of this one. Let me know in the comments if you also were able to snag a Steelbook edition of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So yeah, it is out there, folks. Hopefully still out there as of the recording of this video, but yeah, check this one out. This one is from the latest from Arrow Video and Dario Argento. Big fan of the director. That is Deep Red. I did a review for the 4K on the channel. Cool, you know, slasher type, you know, mystery thriller from the director. And once again, I did a review for the channel if you really want to hear my thoughts on it. I love it. It's I think I would say it's probably in my top 4 or 5 of Argento films. Might even be the top 3. But Deep Red is available on 4K. Check that one out. This one also came out from Arrow Video, and that is Wes Craven's the original The Hills Have Eyes. Also did a review for the channel. Cool film. I mean, it's cool. It's kind of like a gritty, you know, just I don't even know what you would call it. It's not a slasher, but it's a horror film. But you know, it still holds up. And you know, even though the movie is on 4K, don't expect a transformative experience. If you have the existing Blu Ray, there's going to be differences, but it's not going to be dramatic. But I still recommend it, especially if you've never owned a copy, which I've never owned a copy of this one. So yeah, the 4K edition is available from Arrow Video. And once again, going back to the box set situation, I did this with the James Bond, Daniel Craig films. And that was one of those things when these came out individually. That was back in the early days of the pandemic. And also I had my medical surgery at that time. So I kind of missed out on getting the individual steelbooks. So the slipcover editions I was waiting for, and then eventually it just sat on my, long story short, it just sat on my wish list for a long time. But I finally wanted to just get the individual copies of the Daniel Craig films, so we got all of them here. Got them all as part of the buy two get one sale. I really took full advantage of that sale. But yeah, all the Daniel Craig films, aside from No Time to Die, which is coming out in a couple of weeks as of the recording of this video, are out on individual 4Ks, and I finally have them on my shelf. Also, a new release this month and came out on 4K, which I'm very, very happy about, and I think it looks fantastic. The Guns of Navarone, a fictionalized World War II film. It's you know, it's got a great, I would say, you know, war movie vibe to it, and awesome performances, and I think it really holds up very well. Yeah, Guns of Navarone is available on 4K. These two movies came out for Blue Underground, and I'm a fan of part 2. 3 I've only seen once, so I did a revisit of it. It's still 3, you know, but Maniac Cop 2 and Maniac Cop 3 on 4K from Blue Underground. The transfers look amazing. I think 2 is a better one. They kind of reused some of the footage from 2 into part 3. I know there's a whole drama with 3, but, you know, as far as the making of. But yeah, they're both now available. Hopefully one day we will get the original Maniac Cop on 4K. That would be great. So yeah, check those out if you're a fan of the films. This one actually, this one was from the previous month. I just, you know, when I was putting these collection videos together, sometimes 1 or 2 get missed. It happens. But that is G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes. It's fine. It's an action film. It's okay. It does some good job. And the 4K edition is great. I really like the steelbook though. I think the steelbook is pretty spot on. So yeah, G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes is available on 4K. This one was also a blind buy, and I did watch it. Yakuza Princess. It's got great HDR to it. I think it actually has a really good looking picture. It's your typical, you know, action revenge movie. You know, it's quick. It's, you know, I think clocks in at about an hour, 45, 50 minutes or so. It's fine. You know, it's not very deep, but it has a cool premise, and I think the actors and actresses are really good in it. So yeah, Yakuza Princess is available on 4K. This is the latest from Disney, and that is The Jungle Cruise, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt, and love the steelbook of this one. This one was absolutely a pickup for the steelbook alone, and I think the 4K is, it looks really nice. I think Disney did a good job on this one. Atmos is fairly lively, but if you want to hear my review, check it out over on the channel. This one was another one from Kino Lorber that came out, and I was very happy. This is also one of the ones that I feel the remake, which is this, is a lot better than the original. The original I still really enjoy, but Invasion of the Body Snatchers looks excellent on 4K, and it still really holds up. It is. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Aside from the 70s clothes and hairdos, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is excellent, and Kino Lorber did a good job on this one. So, you know, pick this one up if you're a fan of the film. This one is going to be a contender for one of the better catalog movie releases of 2021. I was shocked on how good this looked. That is the Addams Family. Wow. Spoiler alert, it's fantastic. The 4K edition is just a great visual upgrade. In my opinion, it is a night and day difference over the Blu Ray. So check that one out. I did a review for the channel. If you want to hear my thoughts, yes, pick this one up ASAP. Going back to the crazy Nicolas Cage, this was a 4K release, and honestly, the picture quality is excellent. It is really, I think I gave it an A+. It is beautiful. That is Prisoners of the Ghostland. If you love crazy Cage movies, you're going to be right at home. This one is going to have it all for you. It's, you know, some nonsensical stuff, great visuals, and just some great Cage action. So, Prisoners of the Ghostland, recommend this one. Check it out. These are, you know, have a little bit of drama behind them. But if you want to hear my thoughts on both of these, I did a review. Mad Max, The Road Warrior, and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, I feel have excellent transfers. I know there's some controversy with the audio, and I did note a couple of my concerns on the audio on both of these. So I still think these are worth the 4K upgrade pickups, and pick these up. And I know Warner Brothers is doing something with the replacement for the original mono audio mix. So look forward to that if you have the discs already. But yeah, both Mad Max films are on 4K. This one I just literally did a review for it yesterday. I feel the picture quality was good. The audio very kind of just flat. But I still like the movie, and it's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Steelbook edition. Honestly, not a fan of the Steelbook artwork, but I got the Steelbook because I have the rest of the MCU in Steelbook form, so I thought it would be a little off if I just went with the slipcover. So yeah, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is available on 4K. Look for that video if you want to hear my thoughts on the 4K. And finally this month on 4K Ultra HD is the Candyman sequel / soft reboot. I like this one a lot, actually. I think while the original movies have their place, and of course with Tony Todd getting up there in years, they wanted to kind of not so much reinvent the character and the whole thing, but I think what they did with the mythology was good. I really enjoyed that, and especially the connections to the first film. I think it really works. And while I know some people are like, oh, it's not very scary, I kind of agree with that. This movie is more about atmosphere than scares. I'll be honest. It is. It isn't very, frightening in that area. But I think if you are a fan of the whole Candyman, franchise, yeah, check it out. Candyman is now on 4K. So that is everything. Wow, I picked up on Blu Ray and 4K for November 2021. Now it's your turn in the comment section below. Let me know what you picked up this particular month on Blu Ray and 4K, and what are you looking forward to in December. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.